is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
The Twins' West Coast road trip comes to a close this afternoon in Oakland. The Twins with one more chance to make it a winning road trip, having swept the Mariners, looking for their first win of the year against the Oakland A's. And a couple of young left-handers will face each other. Sean Manaea for the Oakland A's, and Pat Dean, who came up with a gem in Seattle, hopes to pick up his second major league win here this afternoon. Good afternoon to you from Oakland. Dick Raymer along with Roy Smalley as the Twins hope to head home from the road trip with a 4-2 mark, and Pat Dean gave the Twins a gem in his start at Safeco Field in Seattle.
It's amazing what can happen when a pitcher can control both sides of the plate for strikes, and Pat Dean had great fastball command in Seattle. His ability to hit the inside corner absolutely set up the whole night for him. Once you can do that, pitch for effectively 4 strikes on the inside corner, then hitters get in a hurry and they swing at balls on the outside part of the plate. They swing at high fastballs. They swing at sliders down and in. And he had them eaten out of their hand because of that fastball command.
This has been a costly stop here in Oakland. The Twins have lost 2 ball games and 2 outfielders. Danny Santana 2 days ago. Miguel Sano last night because of a hamstring injury. Max Kepler caught the morning flight from Indianapolis. He's in the lineup today.
Well, he's going to be a little sleepy, but he's going to be very, very excited. A good-looking young kid, good left-handed hitter, typical low fastball hitter. We've seen not a lot of them, but when he gets a fastball there low in the strike zone, he knows what to do about that. So Max Kepler gets his chance again today.
Very much a part of the Twins' future. The Twins will get a glimpse of Kepler, and the manager said this morning he expects Kepler to play an awful lot this time around.
He's just a big, strong kid who is still learning. You know, his baseball life has not been very large in terms of amount of games and at-bats and things that he's done at his young age. So he's going to get a chance to play here now, at least more than he did the other time around, and we'll see how he does.
So the outfield today has Grossman in left, Buxton in center, Kepler in right, as the Twins hope to win the series finale and head home with a win against the Oakland A's. Sports North is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. You were asking me before what meat product that is. It looks like really thick cut bacon.
It does. Couldn't figure it out. They did put beer on it though, so it's going to be good whatever it is.
Beautiful day here, 69 degrees. Dick Bramer and Roy Smalley with the Twins starting a new month. They followed a very disappointing April where they went 7-17 with an 8-19 May. So here's to June and the hopes that the Twins play better baseball. And the Twins won all 3 games at Safeco Field against first place Seattle ball club. They have struggled to score runs here. At least that was the problem 2 games ago. They scored enough to win last night, but the pitching wasn't very good. Here's the Menards batting order. Eduardo Nunez, Robbie Grossman, Brian Dozier, Trevor Plouffe, Byung-ho Park at first base, Joe Mauer getting the day off. Eduardo Escobar, Max Kepler just arrived this morning from Indianapolis. He's in the lineup. Juan Centeno and then Byron Buxton.
Sean Manaea on the mound for Oakland A's, a left-hander whose numbers don't look real good. He was not good at all for 3 games. Pitched a little bit better these last 3. See what he does against primarily right-hand hitting lineup for the Twins today.
Manaea's first game against the Twins, and likewise Dean's first game against the Oakland A's. Eduardo Nunez, the designated hitter today, leading things off for the Twins. And he takes up and away, ball 1.
First pitch, 12:37.
Eduardo Nunez, 3rd in the American League in hitting at .340. Chops it foul. Xander Bogaerts of the Red Sox at .350. Victor Martinez of the Tigers at .343. And Nunez, who has been so valuable to this Twins team that hasn't won nearly enough games to suit anybody's taste in Minnesota, but he filled in at short when Escobar was hurt, filled in at 3rd when Plouffe was hurt. Jabs at it, it's a strike, and the count goes to 1-2. And finally now with enough plate appearances to be among the league leaders officially.
One of the real bright spots, and otherwise not too bright first 2 months. He's been really fun to watch.
Chopped to the right side, juggled by Butler. He flips to Manaea, and on a close play, Nunez is retired 1 away. Northland Ford defense for the Oakland A's. Coco Crisp is in left, Billy Burns is in center, and Jake Smolinski in right. Valencia, Semien left side of the infield, Lowry and Butler the right side today, and Josh Fegley doing the catching. 1 away, and that'll bring up Robbie Grossman. Grossman, a godsend for the Twins. He's been in the lineup in left field every day since his arrival. And he's seen everything else in the outfield change since the team arrived here in Oakland. Danny Santana was in center. He got hurt. Byron Buxton was called up. Miguel Sano hurt last night, and now Max Kepler is up. And a drive to center field, and Grossman just keeps on hitting. Grossman now 7 for 14 as a right-handed batter, and he's hit almost as well from the other side of the plate.
Always had good numbers right-handed. The question was going to be whether or not he was going to hit enough left-handed, but his left-handed stroke has looked really, really solid. We talked about it a lot, but it's worth repeating. He just goes up there and has a plan and continues to have quality at bat after quality at bat.
Brian Dozier hitting 3rd with Mauer out of the lineup, and the pitch fouled back. I have talked with Grossman briefly, and I think we've established, Roy, the only thing I know about hitting is which end of the bat to grab. But I said it just seems like you're so free and easy at the plate. You get that impression watching him. I mean, he's on a mission. He wants to be at this level playing for somebody. It just happens to be the Twins, but he just seems to be relaxed at the plate. Popped up, straight up in the air. And the catcher, Fegley, doesn't see it. Now he finds it and makes the catch. He was looking toward the Twins on deck circle, and it was over by the Oakland on deck circle. 2 away, and that'll bring up Trevor Plouffe.
This is a has always been a tough sky here in Oakland or day games, and Fairley actually makes a really good adjustment. Looking for the ball, couldn't find it, and then finally did. There are some wispy clouds in the sky, which really helps. I've played in this ballpark in day games when the sky was bright blue, not a cloud in it, and the ball literally would go up and disappear. I mean, that's what ball players call it, a high sky. There's no frame of reference, and you get really disoriented on high pop flies like that.
Happened here Monday to Eduardo Escobar. Very close to a balk move. Minaya throws to first, and Grossman gets back. Escobar lost a ball in the high sky here in Monday afternoon's game.
It's a helpless feeling too, and you would think that the sun would bother you more than just blue sky, but it's the blue sky, the bright blue sky with absolutely no frame of reference, clouds or anything else, that really give you a hard time.
1-0 to Plouffe. Trevor trying to get it going again after missing a few games with a knee issue. He's also been on the disabled list with an oblique problem. And now outside, 3-0 with Park on deck.
Yeah, the injuries that Trevor has sustained so far really have been a problem for him and the Twins. That oblique injury came at a time when he really had heated up. He was about 8 for 12 in the California Angels series, and was really punishing the ball when he got hurt. And he has not really gotten that heat back yet.
And inside ball 4, and that'll advance Grossman to second base. A chance for Byung-ho Park to deliver a big first inning hit.
Batting in the 5th position.
Bob Melvin's team's won 4 in a row.
Byung-ho Park.
Park's average down to 215. Did drive in a run with a double in last night's game. Getting a chance to play first base for Joe Mauer today. Mauer, last week's American League Player of the Week. I asked Joe yesterday, I said, what do you get for that? Because he's won a few weekly awards in his career, and he says I've had to do 3 more TV interviews today. That's been about it. And Park takes strike 1. Park had a burst of home run power in the first half of May, but now hasn't homered in nearly 3 weeks. Foul back, 0-2.
Other than the double he hit down the right field line last night, he hasn't looked real comfortable in the box for about 3 weeks. He really has not looked anything like like a streak he went through in kind of mid-April to early May that you're referring to. He just hasn't looked comfortable at all. He's been in between on pitches. He's behind fastballs, out in front of breaking balls. He's just been a little confused here lately.
2 strikes to Park with 2 on and 2 out. Just off the corner. You know, I think the feeling was in the first half of May that, all right, this guy's ahead of schedule. Everyone thought that in the first half of the year he'd have his struggles. And then he got the power surge, and the average was in the 240, 250 range, and it looked like it would keep on going, and instead just the opposite has happened. Half swing, but strike 3. Park on a check swing, leaves 2 aboard, no score after a half inning. have lost the first 2 games here in Oakland. Bob Melvin's team hoping to get out of the basement of the American League West. And Melvin with a winning record against the Twins. Menard's batting order for the Oakland A's. Coco Crisp leading off, then Jed Lowry. Danny Valencia had a big night last night. Chris Davis, Billy Butler, Josh Phegley, Marcus Semien, Jake Smolinski, and Billy Burns.
Pat Dean on the mound again after a really great start in Seattle. See if he can command both sides of the plate as effectively as he did his last start.
Crisp, Lowry, and Valencia to get things started, and strike 1. Dean's numbers impressive with the 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, and his first major league win. Back to the mound, and Dean has an easy flip for the first out. And that'll bring up Jed Lowry. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Quite a different outfield than what the Twins imagined or had a couple of weeks ago. Grossman wasn't even in the organization. Buxton was in Rochester. And a couple of weeks ago, Max Kepler was either in Rochester or on the disabled list. He just played a couple of games for Rochester after coming off the DL, and now they're all in the outfield here in Oakland. Lowry, the batter. And Dean hits the inside corner, strike 1. What made Dean's outing particularly solid was how it got off to a rough start. Second batter of the game, Franklin Gutierrez, hit an opposite field home run. And what impressed Paul Molitor and Eric Rasmussen, the interim pitching coach, the most was how Dean didn't get the least bit flustered by that and got right back onto his program and got some outs.
Well, it wasn't just a second batter home run in a ballpark that had 6,000 people in it. It was
right.
He was pitching against King Felix with 40,000 people in the stands, and they were loud when that ball went over the fence.
Check swing, but a strike 2 and 2.
And Dean was able to shake that off and pitch a whale of a game.
2 and 2 to Lowry. Popped up in the air. Who's going to fight the sun here? And Park looked at the catcher Centeno, took the play himself. 2 down. And you take a look at the outfielders with Eddie Rosario, perhaps the next one to join the group up here after a slow start. He's hitting .333. Adam Brent Walker, a very strong outfielder. Great power potential, but a lot of strikeouts. And Buxton yesterday caught the 7-something flight out of Indianapolis to get here in time for a night game. And Kepler had to catch the same flight to get here in time for a 12:30 game. Kepler showed up in the clubhouse about 10:30. Had to meet with the manager briefly, get his uniform on, and get out there.
A young kid that age wouldn't want it any other way, trust me.
Driven to the gap in left center, and another line drive hit for Valencia. He'll round first, try for second. Grossman's throw, save, a double for Valencia. He has barreled up everything he has swung at in the last 2 games.
Well, this is a Danny Valencia, the likes of whom we have not seen before. He just looks so locked in right now. Everything mechanically is really, really good. Just doesn't look like the same guy, and the Oakland A's are happy about that because this guy that he looks like now looks awfully good.
A 2-out double, and now the Twins are contemplating a challenge of some sort. Not sure whether they thought Valencia might have disengaged the second base bag. No challenge, and Chris Davis will hit with a man in scoring position and 2 out. Davis leading the Oakland team with 14 home runs. Snap bat and into center field. Buxton falls down and picks himself up to make the catch. So Buxton got some grass stains on his way to catching a fly ball to end the first inning. Go down because of injury. Here another outfielder went down and got back up.
Well, that's the best news, is that he went down hard, not because of injury, but because of just losing his footing, but athletic enough to recover and make the catch look easy, actually.
Escobar with a first pitch drive to the left field corner. He's got a base hit. He'll round first and hold up there with Crisp firing it back in on one hop. Second hit for the Twins, and that'll bring up Max Kepler.
Escobar, better hitter right-handed than left, and Minaya has been pretty good against left-hand hitters and not at all against right-hand hitters. So Paul Mulder has loaded his lineup with right-handers, except for this young fellow right here, Max Kepler, and Juan Centeno on deck. The two lefties in the lineup. Paul was saying earlier today to us, Dick, that one thing he doesn't worry about Kepler so much is that he won't give him a good at bat against left-handers. He hangs in there really well against lefties. So
his history in his professional career is it really hasn't made much difference, and he takes down and away ball one. He's such an interesting prospect, and for those of you who don't know, he is from Germany, and the Twins brought him over as a teenager to not only learn the game of baseball but learn the American culture and the English language. Checked his swing and a strike. A .281 minor league hitter coming into this year with just under 1,600 at bats.
it's a lot bigger than I expected him to, than I thought he was. I mean, I know the statistics and all that, but I saw him in the clubhouse today as he takes a fastball outside for 2-1 count. I saw him in the clubhouse today, and it startled me a little bit. I didn't realize he was as big as he is, and he has the kind of frame where he can really grow into an awful lot of strength. So there's strength waiting to be put on that frame.
And to center field, Burns catches the line drive for the first out. Sanford Health injury report. Miguel Sano hustled down the line in the ballgame last night to stay out of a double play. He got an RBI for his effort, but he also got a strained left hamstring.
Number 37,
and Sano says he's never had any hamstring issues before. And he'll have an MRI done tomorrow. And the day before, Danny Santana did the same thing, running first to third is when he first tweaked it on a base hit. Here is Centeno, and a fastball for a strike.
These days, you just don't mess around with hamstring injuries. Immediately they just go on the disabled list, get another player up here, and take care of the hamstring. Those injuries can linger, as you were talking about last night. You don't want to keep re-injuring.
Off the plate, 1-1. You ever have any hamstring issues?
Pulled a hamstring one time in the minor leagues my first year in professional baseball, and then once in the big leagues. That was it.
1-1 to Centeno. That's hit to left. Centeno with a base hit. He's hitting some line drives against Minaya. First and second, one down for Byron Buxton.
Yeah, two really good at bats by left-handers in the Twins lineup. Max Kepler with a solid line drive to center that was caught for an out. And then Juan Centeno staying with this ball, away from him, slapping it to left. That's a solid at bat right there by that young man, left-handed hitter against a left-handed pitcher, not trying to pull it.
And now Buxton, 1 for 4 in his return to the lineup last night. The one was a double. There were 2 strikeouts as well. Swing and a miss, 1 strike. Buxton's batting average was climbing on a daily basis at AAA. Anybody's guess, of course, when the Twins would have called him up without an injury, but the Twins had the Santana situation to deal with. Buxton the obvious choice. A foul over the Twins bullpen, 2 strikes. Just a couple of runs batted in for Buxton on the season. Had a disappointing first 3 weeks in the big leagues. Was sent down. Refined his mechanics a little bit. And the Twins hope that he's here to stay. In an 0-2 hole here in the second inning with 2 men aboard. And a strikeout for out number 2. And that'll bring up Nunez.
Now batting, number 9, Eduardo Nunez.
Out in front of those breaking balls, and whenever you see a guy swing over the top, that was 2 swinging strikes. First ball pitch he saw, and then that last one, and that's a get on the fastball speed and try to pull it approach. I mean, that's just what happens. Believe me, I know whereof I speak on that one. And those breaking balls down and also in, difficult to hit, difficult to lay off when you're trying to pull it.
High chopper over the mound, fielded by Semien, and the Twins leave 2 more aboard in the second. Twins with 3 hits, nothing on the board yet in the run column as we go to the bottom of the second inning. And Billy Butler will lead things off in the second. Twins trying to do what they can to forget all about the disappointing first 2 months. As we said, Twins with just 8 wins in the month of May. It's not the worst May in club history. You were a very small part of that worst May record. In fact, by the time May came around, you might have been gone already, right? In 1982?
Oh man, I was long gone. I lasted 4 games in the new Metrodome.
In 1982, first year at the Metrodome, in the month of May, the Twins won 3 games. 3. And they went on to lose 102 ball games that year. And then 5 years later won the World Series. But it was a long, long first year in the Metrodome, particularly in the month of May. 2-0 to Butler, and now outside 3-0. It'll be Butler, Fegley, and Semien.
Really mixed emotions for me. You know, getting traded away from what was my home, but not have to lose 102 games, get to play in New York for the Yankees. So all that was good. It was bittersweet, I guess. I hated to lose.
Strike. Don't I remember, because I was working for a TV station at the time in 1982. Don't I remember? Didn't you just buy a house in the Twin Cities?
We had we owned the land and just made plans with an architect.
Butler with a drive into the left field corner, and Grossman will turn and fire, and Butler digging for second. He's got a stand-up double. A leadoff double for Billy Butler here in the second.
A lot of the plate there on that one. I think he was trying to go in on the inside corner. He got behind 3-1 and just couldn't afford to be too fine. Had to throw a strike, and Billy Butler knows about doubles. Man can hit some doubles.
Josh Phegley will hit with Butler aboard and nobody out. Phegley the backup to Stephen Vogt behind the plate for the A's. And a called strike. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Mentioned the A's bringing up the rear in the American League West, but they're in an entirely different situation than the Twins are in their division. A's are 7.5 games back. They're actually tied with Houston and a half game behind the Angels. 7.5 games behind the Texas Rangers now. And on 3 pitches, Phegley's gone, 1 away. It's nice to see somebody else swing at a high fastball they can't hit. Twins have had enough hitters to go after that pitch. Dean goes upstairs. Toyota key stat with Semien stepping in the box. You can see the A's used to draw a few more walks back when they were winning. They've had to retool with younger players like the Twins have. And with young players typically comes impatience. Strike one.
Big curveball right there that we did not see much in Seattle. Seattle was mostly fastballs on either corner and a couple of speeds of slider. Big curveball there to get ahead. Tonight it's a nice get ahead pitch. There's more like the slider.
1-1. To center, and Buxton is there for the catch, out number 2. And that'll bring up Smolinski. After today, 17 of the next 20 games for the Twins are at Target Field, and one of the highlights, June 8th, Superhero Night at Target Field. A limited number of Superhero Theme Night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a Twins Superhero t-shirt. For every ticket purchase, the Twins will donate a Twins superhero cape to a child at Gillette Children's Hospital, and a portion of each ticket will go to Gillette Specialty Healthcare. Go to twinsbaseball.com/superhero night to learn more about the superhero theme night offer. Butler still at second. 2 away now, and here is Smolinski. Inside ball 1. Smolinski entered the game in the middle of the game last night as a pinch hitter. Stayed in the game in right field. Up and in, 2-0. First 2 appearances for Dean came out of the bullpen. A long relief role after a short start in Detroit. And then the Twins gave him a start against the Blue Jays, and hey, you hold that lineup to 2 runs over 6 innings, you've done a pretty good job. Twins won the ball game, but Dean was not around at that time. The Twins scored 5 runs in the 8th. And then his start against King Felix in the Mariners. 3-0, and that with the Billy Burns in the on-deck circle. You can see the progression for Dean. 5 1/3 in relief, then 6 innings in a start, 7 innings in a start. 8 strikeouts against the Mariners in his last start. Down the middle, a strike, 3-1. Irvin Santana ended up taking the loss, going 7 innings here on Monday. Tyler Duffy struggled in his start last night. Inside, and it's a walk. First and second, 2 down for Billy Burns.
When you think about what Pat Dean has done, starting with that long relief appearance in Detroit, the Tigers were swinging the bats great. He held them to 2 runs over 5 1/3 innings. Pitched against Toronto for 6 innings, held them to 2 runs there. They can swing the bats, and then there wasn't anybody swinging the bats any better than Seattle was when he went up there and pitched 7 innings, only gave up 2 runs. So he has come up here and immediately established himself as a guy that will give his ball club a chance to win games.
Strike called and rewarded for his efforts with, I think, around the country, somewhat of a stunning move. The Twins announced the other day that Phil Hughes will be moved, or has been moved, to the bullpen because of Pat Dean. Because he pitched well enough, gave the Twins a chance to win. Hughes has had a disappointing year. There's a fly ball down the left field line. Grossman with a long run, and it's in foul territory, no catch. But here are the Twins, who started the year with Tommy Milone in the rotation instead of Tyler Duffy, and now Duffy's here and Malone is in Rochester. And Dean essentially taking the place of Phil Hughes, who was counted on to be a fixture in the rotation this year. And Hughes barely fits down in the bullpen down there. He's a big man.
He is a big man. Of course, Kyle Gibson coming back to pitch tomorrow, I guess, at home against Tampa.
Right. And a pitch is up. Yeah, to make room for Gibson, that was the move, moving Phil Hughes to the bullpen. 1-2. Twins have stranded a couple of runners in each of the first 2 innings, and now Dean trying to strand a pair here in the second. Cracked bat behind Ron Washington.
Yes, we said, as we've been talking about, he's not only not afraid to pitch inside, but he's anxious to pitch inside. Another cracked bat as a result.
There isn't anything overpowering about his fastball, but yet it seemed to overpower a lot of the Mariner hitters. A lot of swings and misses on that high inside or high outside fastball.
You know, I just can't overstate the importance of being able to throw strikes on the inside corner. It really, really messes with a lot of hitters.
And Burns gets a piece of one upstairs.
When you know a guy that likes to come in on the inside corner and can throw it for a strike, and just pitching inside off the plate doesn't mean anything to a hitter. You can throw it in there all you want. If you can't prove to me that you can throw a strike with it, I'm still going to look out over the plate and look for something else. But if once you start throwing strikes on the inside corner, that gets a hitter in a hurry, and he starts swinging at pitches that he would not otherwise swing at. And that's why we saw Nelson Cruz strike out on a high and away fastball, and we saw, a lot of guys up there in Seattle swinging at balls that they would not normally swing at in certain situations because they were so impressed with that inside strike.
Gets away from Centeno. Burns will try to advance, throw to third. Safe at third base. See if the Twins challenge that. It looked like the throw got there. And Plouffe giving no reaction at all. Let's take a look.
Well, kind of a pass ball there by Centeno, but he bounces on it quickly, and it looked to me like Trevor got behind the base a little bit, and the throw was just a little bit behind the base, and he couldn't get the tag back there in front.
Joe Vavra on the phone with Sean Harlan as the Twins look at it. And Paul saying, "It just a minute, we'll have a verdict for you here soon." Well, I think he's safe, or I don't think there's enough evidence to overturn it.
Right.
And so the Twins will play on without a challenge. And now it's 2-2 to Burns. Centeno's had some issues receiving pitches. Pop up backing out of play. A wild pitch is the ruling, sending Smolinski to second and Butler to third.
I think it's a wild pitch because the ball hit the dirt. I also think that Juan Centeno would tell you that he should have blocked that ball.
Tried to get a strike inside, but missed. It's a full count. Coco Crisp on deck.
Tried to come in there with the harder slider.
Big pitch here early for Pat Dean. High chopper over the mound. And Dozier. No play. Here comes another runner home, and he'll be out by a mile. Smolinski tried to score. An alert play by Park. A run scores on an infield hit, and the A's take a 1-0 lead. Immediately wheeled and threw home.
Now, really, really good play all around, and Dozier makes a fine play here to get the ball over. Just can't get the speedy Billy Burns, but good heads-up awareness by Byung-ho Park there, throwing the runner would-be scorer out at the plate, trying to score from second on that play.
One run does score, and now Grossman with a flare to right field. Smolinski coming in and a running catch. Grossman retired on the first pitch, one down. And that'll bring up Brian Dozier. Twins with a hit and a walk in the first. Two men left aboard, two singles in the second.
Number 2, Brian Dozier.
Dozier fouled out his first time up. I asked Paul Molitor before the game today about Dozier and whether he'd seen any change in his approach at the plate. Sorry, we had some sound from Paul Molitor, but Molitor said he sees hints that Dozier is trying to use the whole field as he's staring at this wide open right side of the infield. Now, he hasn't had the results yet. He did hit a weak ground ball to the right side in his last at bat yesterday. 1-1. Drilled to the left field corner. He'll take all of those he can get off the wall. Rounding first, it's a double for Brian Dozier with one out in the third.
Brian's hit left-handers really, really well this year, and his pull swing is way more conducive to hitting left-handers than right-handers. Left-handers stuff all comes into right-handers. It's the kind of thing as we watch Brian. That's really a nice swing. He's comfortable against left-handers. He doesn't spin out too soon, and that's put a really good swing on that ball. But you know, it's the thing. The reason why it makes us switch hitters. You know, that gets around the other side of the plate, and all the breaking stuff comes into you rather than away. You don't have to worry about what looks like a fastball inside, all of a sudden becoming a breaking ball or a slider.
Plouffe with a lazy fly ball to short right. Smolinski comes in. And Plouffe retired on the first pitch, 2 away.
So where Brian's trying to hit the ball the other way is really gonna show up is more against right-handed pitching.
Byung-ho Park came up with 2 men on and 2 out in the first and eventually struck out on a check swing.
Now batting, number 52, Byung-ho Park.
Twins with 4 hits, the A's with 3. But the third hit, an infield hit, scoring a run in the bottom of the second inning. Down and away, ball 1.
Boy, the Twins could really use Park, get some things figured out and get rolling again now that Sano's out for 15 days, and just somebody else in the 5th or 6th spot, even 7th, somewhere in there to provide run production.
A high fly to center. And Burns, if he doesn't lose it, and he may have lost it. Nope. Came right down to him. I thought I saw a bit of a helpless reaction.
He lost it for a second and went up in that high sky, and then it reappeared.
Presented by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. A's have won 4 in a row as you look at Lake Merritt here in the East Bay area. Coco Crisp will lead off the 3rd inning for Oakland. Pat Dean gave up a leadoff double. Looked like he was going to get out of the jam, but then he walked the number 8 batter, gave up an infield hit to the number 9 batter, and the A's got a run. 1 strike.
I'm going to continue making my case about walks being so damaging to pitcher's efforts. It's hard to hit at this level. It's just hard to string together a whole bunch of hits. And when you give guys free 90 feet segments, it just makes the odds better that someone's going to sneak one in there at some point in time. And I know you can't throw it where you want to all the time, and guys are going to walk guys just like players are going to make errors. But when you give them 90 feet free, either walk or error, it's very, very tough to pitch around.
1-2 to Crisp. Inside, check swing. No. You know, you watch the game, and for the viewers who watched last night, one of the big plays in the game came early when the Twins didn't turn a double play. Eduardo Nunez had a chance to maybe get a double play. Twins didn't turn it. It led to a run. Now in this game, the run, as much as the walk was damaging, Dean, it's kind of a funny hop and throws to first. As much as the walk was damaging, it was the wild pitch that advanced the runners to second and third. Otherwise, the infield hit doesn't do any damage, and maybe Crisp is retired, and we still got a scoreless game.
Right.
Talk so much about defense and how important it is, and fielding, and just being efficient out there with the gloves and the arms. And you got to have pitching, but if you don't play the game well in the field, it's almost impossible to have a winning record. Down the right field line, it's a foul ball. Park running towards the bullpen, and it hits the bullpen mound. And the most subtle of things, or the most seemingly minor things at the time. Now, when the ball rolled between Centeno's legs, you really didn't think that much about it, but that, as much as the infield single, contributed to a run.
I look at it this way. My own personal theory is that you can equate a baseball game and season to football in a lot of ways. Football, you're trying to make first downs, right? And the more first downs you make, the better chance you have to win. Ground ball to short.
Nice stop at short by Escobar. Comes up firing and safe at first. Lowry, according to first base umpire Pat Hoberg, beat it out. We'll see if the Twins offer a challenge. No one's even on the phone.
Yeah, terrific play by Escobar here. But when you have to go that far and dive, then get up and throw, a guy that can run a little bit is you're going to have a hard time getting him. Lowry looks like he just beat him.
Yep. So another infield hit, and now Danny Valencia at the plate.
Well, just back to try to get back to the point quickly. The football team's trying to make first downs. Baseball teams are trying to get 90-foot segments. They're trying to get more themselves, and they're trying to prevent the other team from getting those 90-feet segments. And to the degree that you get more and prevent more than the other team, you're going to win.
Inside to Valencia, ball one.
So they gave away two 90-foot segments there on that wild pitch, and that led to a run that very well would not have scored had it not happened.
Hit a ton to left, but there's enough hook in it to go foul. Somehow the Twins need to find a way to get the ball off this guy's barrel of his bat. Everything just sounds very loud.
Well, this was a great swing here on a ball away from him that he hit in the seats. Then he came up and got a hanging breaking ball and just roped one to the gap for a double.
Since we talked yesterday about Buxton's leg kick that he has implemented, Valencia using it very effectively to get his weight back on his back leg, and then making sure the front foot gets down in time to drive the ball. Foul back. 2-2.
Well, Danny does that big leg kick very aggressively. Not only the leg comes up off the ground, but his front knee then spins, moves back toward his back leg a little bit. It, very much like a powerful golf swing. He really gets back against his back leg, and then his timing is so good right now. As his foot steps down, he's in a launch position, ready to hit.
Pulled foul. They pitched him away last night. He drove a home run to the opposite field. They pitched him inside. He's cracked doubles. They've tried changing speeds.
The only out he made last night, he hit a ball just foul for a home run, missed by about 5 feet, and then turned right around and got a fastball outside and hit a rocket to right field. So he's just dialed in right now. And I think when a guy is swinging this well, you got to try something really slow. Just really slow. Throw him some 80 mile an hour, 76 mile an hour, something. You can come in hard, really hard to try to impress him with a fastball, and then throw something really slow. You're talking about that big leg kick and how good the timing is, and him getting his foot down. Something really slow. His foot will land a little early, and see if you can get him out in front. You got to try something. You got to go back and forth, I think, when a guy's this hot.
So far, the best approach with Valencia is to do what they did the first time last night, and that is walk them on 5 pitches. Two and two from Dean. Now a full count. Davis on deck.
See, I just think he's on anything reasonably hard. Fastball anywhere in the strike zone, he's had good swings at, in or out. And breaking ball, harder breaking balls, he's seeing pretty well. I think you got to, maybe not 3 and 2 here. Pat will throw what he wants to throw, but at some point in time, you start going slow in this game.
Sharp ground ball, base hit to left. And Valencia advances Lowry to second base, 1 away. If you're a baseball fan, then you need the all-new Fox Sports app. Get highlights, interviews, injury updates, scores, and instant alerts on your favorite teams and rivals. Download now in the iOS App Store, Google Play, or visit foxsports.com/app. 2 on, 1 out, and now Chris Davis hit a fly ball to Buxton. Buxton fell down in the outfield, picked himself up, and was able to make the catch to end the first inning. And a first pitch strike. Dean's done a nice job of that. Big swing and a foul. 0-2. Foul back.
Hasn't been quite as effective, Pat Dean, this game as he was in Seattle with getting that breaking ball inside as well, and hasn't quite found the inside corner. He's getting ahead well in first pitch strikes, but we've noticed, I think anybody that has been watching here for the first 3 innings, he's been just in off the plate, hasn't gotten them for strikes yet. Right in there. And the A's hitters so far have either been taking them or getting their bats shattered, but it's resulted in foul balls and not balls put in play. So not quite as brilliantly sharp on the inside corner as he was in Seattle. But the great thing is, for the most part, when he misses inside, not over the plate.
And a strikeout. Centeno with enough of a block to keep the runners at first and second. 2 down, and that'll bring up Butler.
And again, that swing at that breaking ball is because he's pitching inside, and that just gets hitters in a hurry. They get worried about getting beat with 2 strikes in there, and then just jump out in a hurry before they really identify the pitch. And that's what pitching inside. It's why it is so effective.
Butler doubled and scored in the second inning. Hit a leadoff double after Dean fell behind. Cracked a double into the left field corner. And it's past a reaching Plouffe. Lowry around third, bobbled by Grossman on another run for the A's. It's 2-0. Butler with 2 solid strokes for base hits in the early inning.
Well, a curveball that just stayed right in the middle of the plate. Billy Butler's approach is back up the middle and to the other way, and so you see right here he waits and waits and waits, and he's really, really good on off-speed stuff just because of his waiting to hit fastballs the other direction. So he gets a breaking ball strike. He's really good.
Now Josh Fegley, 6 hits for the A's. And Dean has retired just 7 batters to this point. Remember, the last out of the second inning was made when Smolinski tried to score on the infield hit after 1 run had already scored. 1-0 2-0. Right field, and Kepler is there to put it away and end the inning. Another run for the A's on 3 singles. It's 2-0.
Not too great.
The worst.
I don't hate it as much as other people hate it.
It's just, it's old, man. It's a Coliseum. It's not built for a baseball stadium.
Feels like you're at a soccer stadium sometimes.
There maybe needs to be a little bit of updating there.
I don't think they need to leave Oakland. They just need a new stadium.
Well, they've tried. And you heard the reference to O.co. The corporate sponsor bailed on the sponsorship at the start of the year. Too late to change the signs. So this is the Oakland Coliseum. Went through a renovation when the Raiders came back here. I suppose that's been, what, 15, 20 years ago now. And you've not seen it since it was actually a pretty functional ballpark, or at least the layout of the stands and everything was more conducive to baseball than it is now.
I was shocked. Last time I saw it was when I played here in 1987 when we came in as visiting players. And all that center field edifice that they have out there, I had never seen before.
Escobar with a leadoff single in the second. He got as far as second base.
Look at that big structure there.
Drilled foul. They've got some functional problems here. Regularly, the sewage backs up into the clubhouses, which
that's a functional problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that would be a functional problem.
We were here a couple years ago, and we actually had a rain delay, and the storm drains were plugged, and things were backing up in the Twins clubhouse. And yeah, they've tried for a long time to get a new ballpark here. 2-2 to Escobar, and a chopper foul. Of course, on the other side of the bay, the Giants rule the roost with a gorgeous ballpark and a great ball club. 3 world championships in the last, what, 6 years? 5 years, I guess.
I think it's 5, yep.
2-2 to Escobar. Kepler and Centeno will follow. And now 3-2. Escobar not in the lineup yesterday. And he chases a high fastball, foul tip, with Fegley hanging on, 1 away. And that'll bring up Max Kepler. Kepler lined out to Burns in center field his first time
Now
up.
batting, number 26, Max Kepler.
When the Twins signed Kepler back in July of '09, he was a student at John F. Kennedy School, an American school in Berlin. And then he moved to the States and attended Fort Myers South High School, right across the road from the Twin Spring training facility in Fort Myers. 1-0. Busted bat and a soft liner, gloved by Semien, 2 down. And that'll bring up Centeno.
Now batting, number 37,
23 years of age, Kepler is.
Centeno.
Kind of emerged last year as a top prospect. Started played briefly in Fort Myers, spent most of his season, had over 400 at-bats in Double-A at Chattanooga, hit .322, 32 doubles, 13 triples, 9 home runs. So in this season where he's kind of gone back and forth between Triple-A and the major leagues, his status as a prospect is based on a full season at Double-A,
Right.
and the numbers were overwhelmingly good.
Right.
First base, outfielder type.
If you have a big year like that in Double-A baseball, then you've got a chance. If you can hit in Double-A, then it's a question of small adjustments going forward and whether you can handle that. But it's the Double-A season most of the time. It's the Double-A season in a player's minor league career that sets them on a path of an organization thinking that they've got something there.
1-2 to Centeno with 2 gone in the Twins' fourth. Got a piece.
Which doesn't mean that everybody comes right out of Double-A, and I still believe that even guys that have conquered Double-A need to conquer Triple-A as well, and Kepler hasn't done that yet, but they've seen enough between Double-A and short stint in the big leagues. They think he's a real prospect.
Well, the Twins clearly feel that if you've succeeded at Double-A, you at least are on their radar. They've tried promoting players from Double-A, Aaron Hicks, Miguel Sano, Byron Buxton, and have not had the best of results with that, and have had to send almost all those players back down to Triple-A. And Centeno fighting to stay alive.
Well, it doesn't happen a lot. The players come directly out of Double-A to the big leagues and excel, but you're not going to be considered a prospect until you've had a real good season in Double-A, and more about that in a second.
How about
Maybe
2 minutes in a second?
Maybe next inning.
All right. Well, 1-2-3, top of the fourth for Manaea. 3 inning yet. A's got a run against him with a walk and 2 hits in the second, then 3 singles in the third, scored another run. Hoping for an easier fourth, starting with Marcus Semien. Semien hit a liner to Buxton his first time up. And there's that pitch that he's been trying to hit, that fastball over the inside corner. This time it's called a strike.
Yep.
And now 1-1. Foul back. Twins with 2 very disappointing months. There was optimism coming into the season, and then April was not good, and May was not good. I think the challenge for Roy for the Twins this year, and the fans, this is, barring a miracle, not going to be a competitive championship season for the Twins. Put together a winning month and try to build another winning month after that, and do what you can to wash the. There's a check swing, strike 3 to Semien, and a strikeout to start the 4th inning. Try to do what you can in the remaining 4 months to wash the bad taste out of everyone's mouth after what happened in April and May.
Absolutely right. As we see Semien try to check his swing on a slider inside after the fastball strike inside. Again, one sets up the other. But you're absolutely right. There's a lot of baseball to be played, and what's really important for the Twins, and I think Twins fans, is to see
Smolinski with a deep drive to left, and that's not coming back. A home run for Smolinski, and it's 3-0 Oakland.
Well, there was a situation right there where Smolinski said, okay, I've watched you, Pat Dean, throw in on everybody, me included, my first time up, and I'm just going to set up for the ball middle in and just cheat on it. If you're going to throw it in there, I'm going to look in there and just let her go. Ball is up. Above the hands against good fastball hitters, not great. Right in below the hands, that probably has a different result. But again, as Kurt Suzuki and I were talking about,
barehanded, and a nice play by Escobar. Looked like Dean got a piece of it with his glove, slowed it down a little bit, and Escobar was able to make the play for out number 2.
When you're pitching, it's all about the execution of location. That's the 85% of pitching is where you're throwing it.
See if Dean gets a piece of this.
Yes, he did. He got just a little bit of it, slowed it down. Escobar with a nice bare hand and strong throw.
2 down, and now Coco Crisp. A couple of weeks ago, when someone interviewed Twins owner Jim Pohlad about the terrible start for the Twins, he brought up an interesting point. As optimistic as people were coming into the season, reflecting on what happened last year, said, the Twins had just one winning month last year. They won 20 games in May, and that was the only winning month they had all season long. Now, if this season can't be salvaged, at least the rebuilding can begin by putting together some winning months. The Royals found that out. The year before they went to the World Series the first time 2 years ago, they put together winning months, and it convinced, if not the fans, I think it's going to convince the players, we're ready to play good baseball consistently. It's a fly ball to center. Buxton starts back, now comes in. Smolinski with a home run, another run for the A's. They lead it 3-0 after 4. Greater coverage of baseball. A severe blow to the Cleveland Indians. Marlon Byrd, his second PED offense, suspended for 162 games. Abraham Almonte, another Cleveland outfielder, serving a suspension currently. Felix Hernandez put on the disabled list with a right calf strain, remembering that Pat Dean dueled Hernandez in Seattle. And then you saw DeGrom with a good start for the Mets. They're in the 11th inning, the White Sox and the Metropolitans. Here's Byron Buxton, 1-0 from Manaya. Swing and a miss. And we told you about the Twins' decision announced a couple days ago. Phil Hughes being moved to the bullpen. The Tigers announced today that Anibal Sanchez has been switched to a relief role. He's really been struggling in his starts. Swing and a miss. And it's 1-2. In situations like this, the Twins would like to see Buxton bunt, not with 2 strikes certainly, but leading off an inning. And instead he's swung through a couple of pitches, 1-2. 2-2. Buxton, Nunez, and Grossman in the Twins' 5th inning.
One of the things that this leg kick mechanic that Byron is implementing now will be, as you've talked about, it will be a timing issue.
Grounded foul between Gene Glenn and the line.
And when to pick up your leg and how to get all the way back on your back leg so as not to pick it up and then start forward too soon. There will be some timing issues that come and go with Byron doing this, but it looks an awful lot better than going on before.
3 hopper to short, Semien, and Buxton almost beat that out.
I'm telling you, that was. I just don't think I've seen anything like that before.
That was about as routine as you can get.
Yeah, that was a hard ground ball that he had no business, that nobody has any business making it that close.
And no challenge by the Twins. 1 down, and that'll bring up Nunez. Nunez with a couple of ground balls. The record would suggest that the Twins would get just 1 all-star player this year. And I would guess right now it would be Eduardo Nunez.
I don't know how if it happened today, it would have to be. He's clearly been the most productive player offensively for the club.
1-1. 2-1. Carsoup.com trivia question: who was the last Twin to hit 10 home runs in the month of June? Foul back 2-2. Any guesses? I'm going to guess Marty Cordova.
I don't have a guess yet. I have to think about that.
Now inside, 3-2. While the major league club for the Twins has struggled, at least certainly again in May they did. The team that has had a lot of players start in Rochester and come up here. Nunez striking out. Robbie Grossman played 1 game for Rochester. They won 19 games this year. 2 down in the 5th, and now Grossman, who is 1 for 2.
Well, you were talking about wanting to put together some a good month after a good month, and I think for a lot of fans, and this is the way I feel about it. I want to see the development of the young players that are going to form the core of the club going forward. So I want to see Eddie Rosario be the Eddie Rosario we saw in the second half of the season. I want to see Miguel Sano continue to improve at his consistency as a hitter. I want to see Byron Buxton find it and be the star we think that he's going to be.
Buxton drives it down the line and it'll hit foul. Now he just made it out. I'm with you. Buxton made it out, but he put the ball. He had 2 strikes and he put the ball in play on the ground, and that in and of itself is an improvement over what we have seen.
Right. But I think if we're going to say that barring a miracle, the Twins aren't going to be in the postseason this year, and they aren't going to come down the last weekend of the year like last year and still be in it. I think what we want to see is what we saw last year was the real thing, not what we saw the first 2 months of this year.
1-2 to Grossman.
There are a lot of extenuating circumstances, injuries and guys trying to find themselves in the second year for rookies and, blah, blah, blah. But just want to see at some point in time get that improvement going again. So they're the real guys that we thought.
8 in a row set down now by Sean Manaea. The Twins will be coming home. 17 of the next 20 at home. Our Pepsi fans of the game, hoping the Twins can come back and win the final game here. Lowry checks his swing, ball one. It'll be Lowry, Valencia, and Davis. Dean has given up at least one hit in every inning so far and single runs in each of the last 3 innings. Ball hit to right center field sharply. Dean gives up a leadoff single here in the 5th. MLB.TV Premium. You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Dick Bramer and Roy Smalley here in Oakland. The road trip got off to a rousing start. Twins winning all 3 games in Seattle. And now struggling here in Oakland. Valencia with a double and a single. Both hit right on the button, as were his hits last night. Become kind of a platoon player, as we mentioned last night after he left the Twins, but here in Oakland, he's become an everyday player. And a cleanup batter. Man alive, is he high. Base hit, and Lowry will round second and go to third. Grossman's throw coming into second, and Valencia will go in with a double. He's doing pretty much whatever he wants against the Twins in this series.
Well, he was hot coming into the series too. I mean, he has been just on fire, and it's been a while since I've seen anybody in a streak like this. But again, we're throwing, the Twins pitchers are throwing them pretty much the same speed. They threw him a breaking ball there, first pitch for a ball that was 74 miles an hour. I like that idea. It went right back to the harder speed, and he's just on that. I mean,
Down 3-0. Twins will bring the corner infielders up, and the middle infielders now are retreating. They were playing in for Chris Davis. And Dean's got to find a way to keep this game manageable. Popped up down the right field line. Chased by Kepler. And Kepler makes the catch. What a catch by Max Kepler. A run will score. But playing his first game here. And he went aggressively right into the sidewall to make the catch.
Yeah, terrific catch. He made it backhand and had to make the backhand play, which is not the easiest. The ball will get down. You'll see him backhand it right against the wall.
So a run scores on the first out, and now the infield will come in across the diamond with Billy Butler at the plate.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Pulled a double to left his first time up, then singled in a run in his second at bat in the third.
And again, if anybody's wondering whether you let that ball drop because there's a runner on third base, and the answer is no, you catch it. You have to, you get the out. Because now you can do this. You've got one out. You can put a guy on to get the double play in order, and you can get out of a second and third and nobody out with potentially with only one run scoring. So you got to get outs.
Dean has retired Fegley twice, struck him out once, and now first and third with one down.
Now ready, the catcher.
Fegley struck out swinging quickly in the second inning, then hit a fly ball to right, caught by Kepler to wrap up the third. I just like the fact that the ball was hit down the right field line, and Kepler with the speed and athleticism to make that play. I think what the Twins would like to see here, and Kepler promised more playing time. Check swing and a strike. Paul Mahler is saying he's going to see more playing time now than he did, when he was up earlier this year. Improved outfield defense. The Twins, I think, have taken 2 steps forward in the last 48 hours, getting Buxton up here and Kepler. Down and in a ball. Buxton, there's never been any question about his defense. And so he figures to cover more ground and play a better center field than Danny Santana did. Kepler figures to do the same in right field, be a better defender than Miguel Sano was. Grounded to short, see if it works out. One, and a double play. So the catch by Kepler in the corner keeps the damage to a minimum because a double play makes it just a 1-run inning.
And Twins fans, don't forget at Twins home games, bring your Circle Me signs. And if you get circled, you may find yourself in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle where you could win $100 worth of scratch-off lottery tickets courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
Prior Lake, Minnesota. At least part of it is here. Or she knows someone from Prior Lake. Brian Dozier, Trevor Plouffe, Byung-ho Park will hit in the 6th. Twins got some work to do, down 4-0. And Manea settling into a groove after the Dozier double. He's retired 8 men in a row. Up and away, ball 1. The notion that Dozier is struggling to hit the ball to the opposite field with authority on the basis that he can't do it, I don't think is right. In the first home game of spring training, now I know it was spring training, but Brian got 3 hits, all of them to the right side of the field in Fort Myers, and talked about it afterwards, how he wants to be able to use the whole field. Now that's not how it's played out, and it's a big reason why the Twins are where they are. They've struggled because last year's All-Stars haven't contributed. You've had Glenn Perkins, who struggled the first week, then went on the disabled list, and Brian's had his batting average a little bit north or south of the 200 mark. And so you try to bring in or fold in some of these younger players and get them experience, and then you have the all-star caliber players who struggle, and that's how you have 2 poor months in a row.
Well, that's exactly the recipe for 2 poor months, that's for sure. There are a lot of guys just have not played up to their potential or what they've the way they've played in the past. So that's what the Twins are waiting. They're waiting on it.
Well, maybe somebody in June will hit 10 or more home runs, and I'll again go with Marty Cordova.
That's probably a pretty good guess. Just because I'm gonna go with Herbie.
And it was Trevor Plouffe.
Well, that's right.
4
how can we
years
forget
ago,
that? Boy, he was seemed like he hit a home run every day.
He and Josh Willingham would alternate taking the team
Right.
lead in home run. There's a ball ripped to left, a solid single, and a promising start to the 6th inning. A walk, now a single, and here comes Byung-ho Park.
Yeah, the Twins need they need an ambush right here. Really get 2 or 3 quick runs before Oakland and Manea know what hit them.
They kind of ambushed Felix Hernandez in the opening game of this road trip. Second time through the order, they jumped on some first pitch fastballs like the one Plouffe just hit.
And first pitch hanging breaking ball too. He threw a couple of changeups and curveballs that in the middle of the plate that the guys didn't mess up. They actually put him in play for base hits. They were very, very aggressive on first ball pitches that were fat pitches coming from the likes of King Felix.
Twins 4 for 21 with runners in scoring position in this series. And now 1-0 to Park. Park, even though he's a veteran professional, I think is in need of a little boost of confidence. It's been a tough go for him. It looked like things were going to move upward from the average in the 240 range, and then a very cold spell for the last couple of weeks, not just in the power department, but the batting average now down to 212.
You know, he talks about, Park talks about just searching for his timing. His timing was good. You hear him talk about that a lot. My timing was good, or my timing is not as good. He's one of those guys that he raises the foot a little bit, but when he wants his front foot down and his arms extended, and a lot of times he doesn't wait and see what the pitch is. He's just going for it, and kind of assuming fastball speed, and that's what he's talking about, his timing. I have to get my timing. Well, the timing is being attempted to be right on the fastball almost every pitch, And then that's why you see him swing out in front of breaking balls, because he's already committed to the step and the arm extension.
3-1 to Park. And that's not close, and the Twins have filled the bases here in the 6th with no one out. No one in the Oakland bullpen. And a chance now for Escobar to get the Twins right back into the ball game. Quick trip to the mound here by Kurt Young. Must have hit against him, right? Left-hander that was a good pitcher here for here in Oakland and in Seattle.
Yep. Hit against him both places, I think. I can't remember that far back. Come on. I know I hit against him. I can't remember what uniform he was in.
You know, what happens to you guys in your memories now? We did a little pregame segment. The Twins starting their 25 years ago, their 15-game winning streak that propelled them into first place and eventually a world championship in 1991. And a couple of doors down, Dan Gladden, of course, does the radio work, and I peppered him with some questions about the hitting streak, and he said, I don't remember. I mean, that would be something if you were a part of it as a player. You'd remember that, wouldn't you?
I'd have a better chance to remember a 15-game winning streak than what uniform Kurt Young wore when I hit against him. I'll tell you that.
Big chopper and a foul ball. That could have very easily have been a double play if Valencia had had a foot on the bag and then threw home. It would have been a crippling double play. As it is, it's just strike one.
It looked like Danny was trying to drag his foot across the base. A big hopper that as he fields it, he did drag his foot, his back foot across the bag right here, I think. There is one out, and they would have tagged Dozier for a double play, most certainly.
One strike to Escobar, a single his first time up. And he struck out on a foul tip leading off the 4th. Corner infielders up. They'll come home for a force if it's hit to them. Here's the ball hit to center. Burns coming over, making the catch. Front runner will tag. Plouffe will hold at second. Sacrifice fly for Escobar, and the Twins are on the board.
One other time.
And now Kepler will bat.
Number 26, Max Kepler.
Kepler with a liner to center and a pop to short. Zipchinski comes in, or is warming up, I should say. Might be coming in with a little more time down in the bullpen. Kepler just called up today. Flew here on a direct flight from Indianapolis to San Francisco. The second lineout was a soft line drive gloved by Semien. Had a little arc to it on the way to the shortstop. A strike.
Both times, though, Kepler, a mark of a good hitter, left-handed hitter against left-handed pitcher. He's stayed in the middle of the diamond. He hit the ball hard to the center fielder, and then the next pitch it was ball got in and broke his bat. It looked like, but he wasn't trying to pull it.
Swinging a foul, now 0-2. Twins have seen so many young hitters come up here and strike out a lot. Of course, we don't know about Kepler yet, but in his minor league career, over 1,600 at bats, ended up striking out about once every 7 times. Manaea ahead, 0-2. High fastball got him on 3 pitches. Out number 2, and that'll bring up Centeno.
Number 37.
Catcher wanted the ball up there, and Manaea delivered it. 2-strike high fastball.
Centeno with an opposite field single in the 2nd, and then he struck out swinging in the 4th. Bases loaded, nobody out, and the Twins would like to get more than 1 out of this. Swinging a foul, 1 strike. See, the pitch count still pretty good for Manaea. One strike to the Twins catcher. Check swing, 1-1. Centeno has played himself into more playing time, with Kurt Suzuki struggling at the plate. John Ryan Murphy still catching in Rochester after a disappointing start to his Twins career, sent down in April. 1-1. And now 1-2. Trying to do a little damage control. Leadoff walk, a base hit, and another walk. Hoping to get out of this inning with just the 1 run allowed. Checked his swing, or did he? And they appealed to third base. I don't believe the home plate umpire. And now Paul Molitor is barking at home plate umpire Mike Everett, saying apparently Everett did call the check swing a swing, and the throw to first completed a strikeout. And there it is. Boy, right there. Yep.
I don't know.
Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. The Oracle Arena next to the Oakland Coliseum. And a lot of great NBA action will be there starting Thursday night. And a first pitch strike with Ryan Presley in the game now for the Twins, pitching to the A's in the 6th. Semien, Smolinski, and Burns, bottom third of the Oakland lineup, with the A's leading 4-1. Now inside 1-1. Dean struggled in his 5 innings, giving up 4 earned runs and 9 hits. Down and away, 2-1.
Presley, as we looked at his numbers a second ago, 28 strikeouts and 14 walks, so 2-to-1 strikeouts to walks, and it doesn't seems like it doesn't happen in that ratio all the time. He's either in the strike zone and relatively unhittable, or he struggles with it a little bit.
Chopper off the glove of Presley, was headed right to Dozier, and Semien will have a base hit. Dozier was lined up perfectly to make it a routine play in the first out. Instead, Semien will get an infield hit.
So if you see this ground ball here, my contention was always, if a pitcher has to stretch out like that to go get a ground ball, leave it alone. Just stay out of the way. We'll take care of it from here.
Instincts take over.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. Obviously, they can't do that. There's no way. You're an athlete, and you're trying to win, and
well, that's
you're
a concession from you now. You're saying pitchers are athletes.
Yeah, dude, I have no quarrel with their being termed athletes. So now, where they fit in the hierarchy is of some dispute. But
guessing we'll get an opinion on that tomorrow in the opening game of the homestand. Semien takes off, and Centeno. And we got a grip of the baseball. It'll be a stolen base for Marcus Semien. And now a 1-1 count and a chat between pitcher and catcher.
Just making sure what sign they're going to use with a runner on second base.
The biggest reason the Twins lost last night, every time they scored, the A's came back with at least one in the next half inning. Now here the Twins had a great chance to put up a crooked number in the top of the 6th inning. They got just 1 run, and then you blink and there's a speedy runner at second, nobody out, and 2-1 to the batter. Popped up right field. Kepler with the catch, and Semien will just bluff. 1 down. That'll bring up Billy Burns. Saturday, you can only see the Twins on FS1 when they host the Rays for Game 3 of the series at 2:30 p.m. Then it's baseball night in America. The Yankees taking on the Orioles in a big American League East battle at 6 p.m. Central on your local Fox station, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Here's Burns. Twins heading home after the game today. They've got 17 of 20 at home. But as Paul Molitor warned Twins fans, it's not like they've been lighting it up at home either. They need to do a lot of things better, and one of them is play better at home. Chance to do that. Just a 3-game series in Anaheim in the middle of a 3-week stretch at home. There's a strike, and it's 0-2.
Started to talk about Ryan Presley's year so far and the stuff that he's throwing up there, which is awfully good. And when he's in the strike zone, he looks to be unhittable. And the issues that he has is when he's behind guys.
Chopper left side.
That's a good play right there. Tough to know what to do on that hop. A guy runs as well as Billy Burns does. You know you have to charge that ball, and Eduardo Escobar got in kind of no man's land right there. Had to played himself into kind of a in-between hop and still made the play. See, right now you got to charge because you know it's going to be a hopper, and then he has to stop and get a hop he can handle. Still able to make that catch and transfer to his throwing arm and his throwing hand and get him with a good strong throw.
He's got their first couple runs with 2 out hits. Presley hoping to avoid one here with Crisp at the plate. And Semien at third, now 2 away. Down and in, ball 1.
You're playing shortstop, and first of all, you know what the speed of the batter is when he hits the ball and becomes a runner. So Escobar knew that Burns could really get down the line, and when you see a chopper like that, your first reaction is you have to go get the ball. You have to come and get it. And then hope that you can move yourself into a good hop, some kind of good hop where you can field it and throw it quickly.
Two and 0 to Crisp. And 3-0. Jed Lowry on deck. middle, a strike. Crisp is 0 for 3. Started this series on the right foot for the A's, hitting a leadoff home run against Irvin Santana on Monday. Pulled foul. And now 3-2.
I think Presley wants to get Coco Crisp out here. He doesn't want to pitch against Jed Lowry with a couple of guys on. This is going to be a big pitch. Need to hold the game right here in a 3-run game. Got to make a good pitch here. Fastball or breaking ball, either one. Throw it for a strike.
Breaking ball hit to center, a base hit.
A high hanger.
He hung a breaking ball, and Crisp lined it to center for another run-producing 2-out hit for the A's today. He had Burns' infield hit in the second that scored the first run. Butler's 2-out single in the third that scored the second run. And now this RBI single, making it a 5-1 ball game.
Twins pitchers just not able to make quality pitches when they needed to. An awful lot of stuff right in the middle of the plate with guys on base.
And now Lowry has singled and scored his last 2 times up. 1-0. And now 1-1. Eleven hits for the A's, and again they score right after the Twins score. 2-1. On the outside corner to even the count. This obviously the series finale, and then the A's come to Target Field in early July for a 3-game series. And that puts an end to the Oakland 6th inning, but true to form, the Twins score in the top of the inning and the A's score in the bottom. Runs for the A's in 5 straight innings.
Yeah, just one at a time. In the second inning, a Billy Burns infield base hit got one. Billy Butler drove in one. He's doubled and singled today. Smolinski hit a bomb to left field for the third run. The A's would add 2 more so far. It's 5-2 1, A's, Sean Manaea has absolutely bottled up the Twins hitters who have not been good against left-handers this year.
Ryan Dull into the ball game now. He'll pitch to Byron Buxton, leading off the 7th. See if Buxton tries to bunt here. Down and away, ball 1. Nice job by Manaea, filling the bases and giving up just 1 run, filling the bases with nobody out, and then allowing just the 1 run. Dull pitched last night. He's been really good for the A's this year, and now over the inside corner, 1-1 to Buxton. Buxton 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd, hit a sharp ground ball to short in the 5th, and almost beat it out. There's a base hit to left. Buxton, if you're keeping track, and I suspect you probably are, 2 for 7 since his recall yesterday. A double last night and a single leading off the 7th here today.
Well, every time he hangs in there and hits a breaking ball hard, I like the trend. It's a good swing, pick up the foot, get it down, stay on the breaking ball, good extension, all good.
And now Nunez 0 for 3 in the ball game, serving as a designated hitter today. Over the inside corner, a strike. Mentioned before, Nunez started the day 3rd in the American League in hitting. And there weren't many people in or out of the Twins organization who would have imagined he'd even have enough plate appearances to be listed in the top 5 or the top 100 for that matter. And he's had a wonderful year. As bad as the start to the season has been for the Twins, I have no idea where they'd be without him.
Well, and this is not to denigrate Eduardo Nunez in any way, shape, or form, but if you said that all those things that you just said were going to happen, you would say that there's an oops somewhere in what the plans were for the Twins lineup.
Pop up, and Butler with the catch, a fair ball catch, I believe. Yep, 1 down. And Nunez now carrying an 0 for 4 this afternoon. That'll bring up Grossman. Tomorrow it's St. John's University College of St. Benedict night at Target Field. A limited number of CSB SJU theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a red and white Twins cap. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/CSBSJU or call 800-33-TWINS. Here's Grossman, 1 for 3. Ball 1. Grossman was in Cleveland's minor league system, had an opt-out date. Twins picked him up. Played 1 game for Rochester, and then the Twins ended up making a change. Grossman called up, replacing Eddie Rosario, with Rosario playing the outfield for Rochester now. Two and 0. 3-0, Dozier on deck.
Just those 3 pitches, a good example of what Robbie Grossman has done since he's been up here. He goes up there with a plan to get a ball in the strike zone that he can handle, that he wants to swing at, and hasn't come out of that plan. He makes a pitcher throw the ball right there. That's where he wants the ball, and that's where he's going to swing at it. And it doesn't mean he's going to hit every one of them. It doesn't mean he's going to hit every one of them hard, but to this point, he has not gotten himself out, and that's what you call a quality at bat. Make the pitcher throw you something that you can handle, and then do the best you can.
A swing and a strike. It's a full count.
Cheating on a fastball there, which is okay with 3-1. You say, okay, I'm going to get out in front of a fastball, and a little bit of a cheat there. So he was out in front of a breaking ball. Now I would expect he won't do that again. He'll be letting the pitch come to him. Wait long enough to see it. again, that's the professional at bat, the quality of bat that we talk about. That's what he's done. That's why he's hitting .359 so far.
And Buxton is back to the bag again. Parts of 3 years with the Astros. Grossman getting another opportunity at the big league level with the Minnesota Twins. Buxton takes off and the pitch fouled back.
Paul Molitor betting on having two things in his favor here. Really great speed at first base and a 3-2 count on a guy who's been taking professional bats. Figures not to strike out. Paul figures he's got 2 things going in his favor by starting the runner.
Buxton doesn't take off and Grossman takes a walk. So another threat building for the Twins. See if they can do a better job producing something than they did in the 6th inning. 1st and 2nd, 1 down.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
That voice you heard, Roy Smalley, who's been nice enough to come out on the road trip in Bert Blyleven's absence.
Well, it's been a fun trip watching Twins baseball, especially the 3 games in Seattle were terrific, and they ran into some hitting woes here in Oakland. They haven't swung the bats the same. See if they can. Again, they need an ambush.
Dozier takes a strike. Dozier fouled out to the catcher Fegley in the 1st. Hooked a double into the left field corner in the 3rd, then walked leading off the 6th, then scored the lone Twins run. Chopper toward the hole. Semien fires to second. They get the 4th play there. Dozier will reach on a fielder's choice with Buxton advancing to 3rd. Nice play by Semien in the hole. That'll bring up Trevor Plouffe. It seems strange for those of us who've been watching the Twins through the first couple months of the season to get through the middle part of the lineup with Miguel Sano nowhere to be found. After suffering the hamstring injury last night, he's on the disabled list. So you're right, whether it's Plouffe or Park, Dozier, somebody needs to provide a little middle of the lineup pop. And we'll see if Plouffe can do that here. 1st and 3rd, 2 down. Drove a sharp single to left, his last time up. Popped up right center field. Smolinski coming in. And the Twins again get a couple men on, but can't do anything with it. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Oakland leading 5-1. for, among others, Kirby Puckett, of course, primarily a shortstop with the Twins, now the third base coach here in Oakland. And one of his career highlights came at the Metrodome in 1986 against the Orioles. Banging one off the plexiglass. And Washington kept on running and kept on running. And a head first slide at the end of an inside the park home run. There's Tom Bernansky. There's Mark Salas. There's Greg Gagne back when he was wearing number 31. And Ken Herbick there as well. And Wash, one of the more popular characters in the game. It's just good to see him back in uniform after being out for a couple of years.
It sure is. Ron Washington needs to be in baseball every year somewhere.
One strike to Danny Valencia. And Trevor May in the ball game to try to retire Valencia. Easier said than done. Oh, 2.
It just makes me laugh. I'm not advocating anything here. I'm not advocating anything. But the way Danny Valencia has been swinging the bat, and that big swing right there, the first swing, they almost fell down. I just think about Don Drysdale being on the mound and what would have happened next. It's a bit of a different game.
Well, on 3 pitches, Valencia strikes out. Again, home plate umpire Mike Everett making the call, and Valencia doesn't think he went and would appreciate it if the home plate umpire asked for help.
Yeah, ask for some help.
I don't think he went. And to Valencia's point and to Paul Molitor's point a couple innings ago, well, I don't know.
Well, from the side in slow motion, it always looks like the hitter swings. I mean, that's in real time. It's close enough where I think you need to ask for help from the base umpire. But if he didn't swing, then Centeno did not swing either.
Right. One strike to Davis. Drove in a run with a fly ball in the 5th. And now 1-1. This is going to sound weird, but I'm going to say it anyway. May hoping to forget all about May. He had a stretch of 5 outings in a row that were just awful, and in the role that he's in, his season stats will never be able to recover from it. 10 earned runs allowed in 6 1/3 innings. When you're only pitching an inning at a time, your season stats are pretty well shot.
Yeah, but I have to tell you, that's kind of a microcosm of what the Twins need to do. I don't care what Trevor did. Those
Right.
5. I want to see him be the lockdown guy in an inning, 7th or 8th inning, or that they projected him to be. And if he moves back toward that, then you start getting some good positive feelings again.
2-2. And this is what we saw for most of the season last year from Trevor May. A lot of swings and misses. Efficiency on the mound. 2 strikeouts here in the 7th.
Yeah, he's got such a good curveball. He struck out Danny Valencia on the curveball. Now Chris Davis. And when you throw 95 and the hitter knows you throw it hard and you like to throw it hard, then you've got that kind of curveball that you can throw close to the strike zone like that. You're gonna be effective. And Trevor went through a little streak where, much like Kevin Jepson, he wasn't using his breaking ball and changeup, or wasn't getting it over. And he was just coming at everybody with straight fastballs, and guys were swinging right from the on-deck circle, and he got tattooed a bit. He got ambushed there a bit, but he's been pitching much better the last 3-4 outings, using all of his pitches. And then, as we've mentioned, that fastball just to hitters looks faster and faster the more you use other stuff.
Fouled into the 2nd level here at the Coliseum. 2 strikes to Butler. He's had a good day. A couple of hits, and a walk, an RBI, a run scored. And now down low. Blocked by Centeno. Doolittle and Zubczynski warming up. Zubczynski warming up for the second time today. 2-2 from May. Fouled over the Twins dugout.
Good example there why Billy Butler is such a good hitter. He directing that fastball to the right side of the field. He's going to wait with 2 strikes. He's going to wait and make sure he identifies that fastball. And much like Miguel Cabrera, he's willing to be jammed. He's going to wait and not be out in front of the breaking ball. He got the ball thrown by him.
May strikes out the side in the 7th, and the A's have a 5-1 lead. Of course, saw Bartolo Colon hit a home run, and now they may be done in by a pitcher getting a double against them. Byung-ho Park will lead off the 8th for the Twins against Sean Doolittle.
Very, very good stuff. This young man right here, he can flat get it up to the plate.
Strike 1 to Park. He'll be followed by Escobar and Kepler.
Sean Doolittle, Ryan Madsen, a great 1-2 punch. Both of them closer type mentality and stuff.
John Axford got the save last night. 2 strikes quickly to Park. Missing inside.
There's something about his delivery or the delivery of the fastball. His gun says 93 miles an hour. It appears to the hitters it gets on faster than that.
That one, a high fastball at 94. Park strikes out, 1 away. That'll bring up Escobar.
Number 5.
It's just late.
Escobar.
1 down in the 8th, and now Escobar 1 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Right center field. And Smolinski waits. Makes the catch. 2 away. And before Kepler's at bat. Target Field's a great place to spend time with the people who are important to you. Groups are eligible for discounts on tickets, and per ticket fees are eliminated. So organize your group of 25 plus today. You can learn more by visiting twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS and ask about a Twins Target Field group outing. Kepler 0 for 3. After his call up this morning, he takes strike 1. Lined out to Burns in center in the second, popped up to Semien in the fourth, and then chased a high fastball and struck out in the sixth. Oh, and 2.
Tough duty for Max Kepler. He flies all morning, come across country, get here just in time to play the ball game and see tough left-handers right out of the chute.
Got a piece.
I know Paul Molitor said that he's confident that Kepler he hangs in there well against left-handers and will give him tough at-bats against them, but I guarantee you Kepler would just as soon see a right-hander.
2 strikes. And now up high. Kepler played other sports. Baseball, of course, was new to him. Soccer, tennis, swimming, skiing. One and 2 to the Twins right fielder. And the at-bat's still alive. Twins signed him as an athlete to teach him the game of baseball. And he was quite an athlete, given a tennis scholarship to the Steffi Graf Tennis Foundation in Berlin, but chose instead to pursue a career in baseball. Swing and a miss. Doolittle breezes through the Twins in the 8th inning, setting them down 1-2-3. Where Michael Tonkin will pick up the ball game, pitching to the A's in the bottom of the 8th, starting with Josh Phegley. Phegley's 0 for 3, a strikeout, a fly ball, and a ground ball double play. Then Marcus Semien and Jake Smolinski. Tonkin pitched a scoreless inning last night. issued a couple of walks within the inning. Tonkin, I think, on the Twins' radar as being a helpful arm if he can just be more efficient out there. Do what he's done here to Fegley, get ahead and pitch ahead and stay ahead. Plenty of stuff there with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, occasionally 96, and an improving slider.
Yeah, the question for Michael Tonkin, I think, is or not the question, but the only thing standing in his way from being very, very effective at this point with the stuff that you mentioned is being able to have the hitters know that he can throw a slider over. That pitch right there, he's just struggling to make it good enough where the hitters think it's a weapon. And when he starts punishing guys with breaking balls as well as that 94, 95 with movement fastball that he has, then he's really got something.
Fastball down and away, and again, this is what we saw last night. He got ahead, and now the count's full.
And that's the only other thing is he just loses command within and at bat of his fastball once in a while. You get a guy 2-2, 1-2, or 2-2, and you can throw him a fastball strike and beat him, and then let him get back in the count.
Foul ball chased by Park, and about 8 rows back. I've been to a lot of day games. I enjoy going to day games, but I've never worn that to a ball game. Hit to right center field. Buxton trying to track it down, and he's there for the catch, one away.
So imagine this with me a little bit. You're getting ready. You got tickets to a ball game, and it's going to be a beautiful day out, and you get all ready to go, and you say, you know what? I'm just missing something. I need just. Oh, I know. I'm going to put a unicorn head on my head. That will complete the ensemble.
Yep.
Is that? I mean, what's the thought process there? Do you look in the mirror and say, "Yep, looking good now. This is exactly the way this is exactly what I was envisioning."
Yeah. Here's Semien. Now that was a rhetorical question to me. You didn't expect me to answer it.
It was largely rhetorical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. 2 strikes now to Semien.
Actually, I kind of did want you to. I want you to add, your thoughts about what you think might be going on in somebody's mind.
Check swing, 1-2. Semien singled and scored in the 6th. The A's with single runs in innings 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. One and 2 with the Oakland shortstop. Popped up, back and out of play. And now 2-2. Talked about the stretch of games for the Twins coming up. 4 with Tampa, a day off, 3 with Miami, and then 3 with Boston. The 3 games in Anaheim, then 4 with the Yankees and 3 with the Phillies. 2-2 to Semien, and another foul ball. Eric Rasmussen joining the ball club at the start of this road trip. And Semien fouls it off a leg. Neil Allen, the pitching coach, being suspended with pay pending an investigation of a DWI charge. And there's that slider, and it gets a swing and a miss from Semien, 2 away.
Yeah, you throw some of those, and then all of a sudden you really got something. He starts controlling that pitch right there, and he's going to be awfully good. It's got good movement. It's a breaking ball that has good slant to it, good angle, both away and down, and right on the corner. That's about as perfect a pitch as you can throw.
2 down, and now Smolinski. Strike one.
That one, not so much, and we're glad he took that one.
Popped up. And out of play. 0-2. Ryan Presley gave up a run in the 6th inning in relief of Pat Dean. May struck out the side in the 7th, and now Tonkin trying to have a quick 1-2-3 8th inning. Delay here. I'm not sure why Smolinski's taking his time to get back in the box.
I think I saw something in his eye.
Okay. That bounced foul. White Sox ended up beating the Mets 2-1. Matt Albers with the big hit of the game. The White Sox lost the opener to Matt Harvey in that series, but came back to win the series. Half swing. And Mike Everett asks this time, and Pat Holberg says no swing. And Centeno's getting into a squawking, hey, where was that appeal when I was up a couple innings ago?
Because it was an awful lot closer to than that one was. I mean, anybody can call that one.
And now up and away, 2-2. On the ground, nice convenient hop for Escobar. There's a cross, parked with a stretch, and Michael Tonkin has a 1-2-3 8th. We'll see if the Twins have a 9th inning comeback when we come back. If there's a 9th inning comeback, it'll have to come against the A's closer, Ryan Madsen. Joe Mauer off the bench to pinch hit for the Twins, leading off the 9th. And there's ball 1. Juan Centeno, the scheduled batter, and he was 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. It'll be Mauer, then Buxton and Nunez, and then the Twins hope about 5 or 6 more. Strike, 1-1. Mauer, the American League Player of the Week last week. A couple of hits again last night. We showed you a graphic last night that with Miguel Sano's absence, figures no one will be affected more directly than Joe, who is hitting for twice the average in front of Sano than he was in fewer at bats, granted, with someone else hitting behind him. Now, when you have a powerful hitter like Sano, it figures the guy in front of him should get better pitches to hit and be able to handle them. But Joe really flourished hitting in front of Sano, who won't be available to the Twins for at least 2 more weeks. That's chopped off the plate, and it will kick foul. And the count remains now, or goes to 3-2 to Joe Mauer. See Joe with a really good road trip, homering in all 3 games in Seattle. And it wasn't just the home runs, 5 multi-hit games in his last 8.
Yeah, seeing the ball really, really well. Getting base hits, walking, swinging at all good pitch, getting good pitches to hit and squaring them up.
And he'll take a walk to start the 9th inning.
He can do that.
For Mauer, the 32nd walk that he has taken, and almost perfectly balanced against the 34 times he has struck out. Here's Buxton, single to left his last time up. And again, since his recall, he's 2 for 7 with a double last night and a single here today. Up and away, ball 1. Swing and a miss. Madsen, of course, reasserted himself as a really good relief pitcher last year with Kansas City. Essentially didn't pitch for 3 years. And then came back, had a really good year with Kansas City. Strike called 1 and 2. And the Royals, if anything, their bullpen might be better this year than it was last year with Madsen helping set up Wade Davis. 1 and 2 to Buxton. And fouled over the screen.
Madsen's had been right in the middle of some good bullpens now consecutively. The KC bullpen obviously terrific, and now with Doolittle, that's a great 1-2 punch. Those 2 guys.
Just off the outside corner. Close pitch, 2-2. He's trying to build a 9th inning comeback here. The number 8 batter, the pinch hitter for the number 8 batter, Mauer's already walked. And now Buxton with a 2-2 count. On the ground, they'll get 1. And not 2. So Buxton pushes one to the right side, didn't hit it very sharply, and Mauer forced at second base. 1 out, 1 on, and CenturyLink, what's next? Kyle Gibson will be activated. He's probably in Minnesota right now, waiting to make the start against Matt Moore. You can see the pitching matchups through the 4-game series at Target Field. Buxton at first, 1 away, and now Nunez. To Valencia. They try to get the out at second, and they do, and a game-ending, series-ending double play. And the Twins on this road trip, now they may, Twins may challenge this here. We're going to check and see whether the outs were recorded at both bases. And Paul Molitor says, nope, no challenge. So the Twins, both extremes on this road trip, a sweep, and they are swept.
Well, the question was whether or not the second baseman stayed on the bag long enough there at second base, but he obviously did, and the Twins just didn't swing the bats here in Oakland the way they did against arguably better pitching in Seattle. Just a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde road trip. They'll try to get it going at home.
And the Twins will head home, and we will move to our Twins Live postgame show in just a moment. Plenty more coming from Oakland with the A's sweeping the Twins.